Boy, gising.
Gising.
Do you need another one? I bought 2 for you.
Yeah, I'll get it later.
Okay.
Ready?
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Hi. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Be Uplifted. Pew, pew, pew.
We're back.
Heck yeah.
You're old now.
I'm 1 year older.
Yep.
Show it.
It's been a whole week. How does it feel to be this old for a week?
Well, judging by this, it could be a whole month.
I know, right? Excuse me. How's everyone doing? Still tired? We're still tired from the last episode.
I'm good. I got to eat, so I have energy.
Right. You could see behind them.
Yep.
Yeah, so in case y'all are in the San Diego area, Pacers has lobster rolls now.
Yep.
Tuesdays.
Lobster rolls and lobster tacos, and I have to say, they were pretty good.
Mm-hmm. They sure were.
Yep.
Surf and turf, $12.
Oh, yeah, that's true, huh? You can do the whole surf and turf thing now.
Yep.
Awesome.
Heck yeah.
All right, so who wants to enlighten us on what this week's episode is about?
Wow. You.
I always talk a lot, so I give you guys opportunities to talk.
Today's topic is generational
Expectations.
expectations.
I was going to say curses. Wait, nope, that's not it.
I was about to say that too. That's why
Trauma.
I paused.
It's like
Trauma.
I mean, I think generational trauma comes with what we're about to talk about
Heck
because
yeah.
we were thinking that we would talk a little bit about that because it is technically, I don't know when this is going to air, but as we're filming this, it is technically still Filipino American History Month. Mm-hmm. So shout out to all my Filipino Americans that listen to this podcast.
Hey, Philams.
Yep. We were kind of talking about how, like, growing up when you're Filipino, one of the biggest expectations, it's almost like a joke, right? An inside joke is if you're Filipino, you're either a nurse or in the military, right? Those
Or
are like
mailman.
somewhere in there. Like, it's just kind of like known, like, especially the nurse thing, right?
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on that?
It's true. Like, how many in your family are nurses?
Lots. I'd say of the girls, I would say that I'd probably a good 30-40%.
And how many of them are in the military? The remainder?
Pretty much.
Yeah, right? What about you?
Surprisingly, I don't have a lot of nurses as far as the females go. And then as far as military, probably every guy in my family is in the military except for my brothers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Every?
Yeah.
Damn.
What about you?
We have several nurses. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Military, actually, there's only been 3.
Oh, really?
Right.
You know what's interesting is my cousins that didn't end up as a nurse, their spouse is a nurse.
Wow.
Yeah, the male is the nurse in the
crazy.
family. So it's in there somewhere. It's thrown in there somewhere, you know? Where do you think that comes from as far as Filipino culture goes? Where does the need or the stereotypical, like, you're not successful unless you're a nurse comes from?
I feel like our culture naturally is very, like, caregiving, caretaking. And we're so used to taking care of, like, other people. Maybe that's where, I mean, it's just only my opinion, but it could be that.
I agree with that. But then you do see those nurses, right, that are definitely, in my experience. So to give you a little background on me, like, everyone knows Queer Rich is like the medical guy, right? Because of the things that he does at work. But for me, my background, I was in skilled nursing as a social worker for a long time. And then I worked at SHART for many, many years. So I saw a lot of healthcare stuff going on, and it was like all Filipino people. And one of the things that bothered me was there was a big group of those Filipino people that were definitely there for the title and the money, right? It wasn't like they actually cared about the patients. Like,
Right.
you'd see them shove the Alzheimer's patients in a corner and be like, get over it, you know? So I think there is the handful or a good amount that does it for the love of caring people. I do agree with that. But I think the other half comes from literally, like, that's your way out, you know? Like, if you, that's your ticket to be in the States and make good money, you know? It's like a safety net almost.
Yeah.
And same thing with the military. Like, that's their ticket out of the
Yeah.
Philippines.
Yeah.
And their ticket to get their other family members out of the
Yeah.
Philippines.
But you know, they actually go hand in hand.
How so?
Well,
Or which part go hand in hand? I mean.
both the nursing and the military.
That's true.
That is
Because
true.
during the war, there was they needed nurses, so they came over from the Philippines. So what you're looking at is a way out of your social class in the Philippines. So you get to America, now you have a stable job, stable income. You built a career, and then from that career, you have the house, you have the car, you have the dog, you have the white picket fence, and same with nursing. So nursing is now viewed as a way out, right? That's why it's always about the money. It's never about really the patient care. It's about you have these skilled nurses because the Philippines, as you said, we're still known for our hospitality,
Right.
whether it's being at the hotel, being the maid or whatever, the housekeeper. It's all about hospitality. We're so good at that it translated into nursing really well. And with the war, with the limited number of nurses and the way more Filipino nurses were here to backfill positions, you see that once they get here, they start getting paid, and they're getting paid better than what they normally would be
Right.
in the Philippines. So that's why you see it like, oh, she's a nurse. But because she's a nurse, they have this big house. They have the lifestyle.
Like the American dream.
The American dream.
So you're chasing the American
That's
dream.
such a good point because I did see it as a ticket out, like literally, right, from the country. But you're right as far as saying that it's a ticket out of the social class, because that's also why people that are not nurses are almost looked down upon, right? Like in our culture, especially by older people. I don't know if you guys out there that are listening know that, but in the Filipino culture, it's almost like you're the bright and shiny trophy of the parent. If, oh, my kid is a nurse, or, oh, my kid is
Right.
in the military. And if you're not any of those things, it's almost like, well, why didn't you become a nurse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you guys think that that's why, because of us having more ways out, I guess you could say, and people kind of like opening their minds, why less and less are becoming nurses and military? Like people are choosing different routes. Do you think it's because there's more opportunities now?
Actually, I think so. This is an observation. I think that male nurses are more normalized now, and I think that one of the reasons for us having more male nurses is because of all of the female nurses that we wanted to get with, so we just took the same subjects as them.
That could be it. That
I
makes
honestly
sense.
I don't know why I just thought of that, but I honestly think that like the normalization of the male nurses is caused by just the fact that we're chasing the nurses.
I bet you that's partially true. Okay, speaking of male nurses, side note. So I was in the hospital like a few weeks ago, right? Why are the nurses that are male so hot now? Dude, like even Ackright was
Because
sitting.
they have time to work out.
Dude, oh my gosh. I thought I was looking hella busted because who goes to the hospital planning on it, right?
I do. No, I'm just kidding.
Busted as hell. And the first nurse walks by me and it's a male nurse and he's fucking fine. I was like, oh my God, he's so hot, but I can't breathe. I'm like dying, right? But I'm like, oh shit, he's fine. I go into the fucking room. I'm like, there can't be any more fine nurses. Another nurse walks in. The RT guy walks in and he's fucking fine. And
He's not a nurse. He's an RT.
yeah, RT. And then the RT and a nurse, two separate people walked in. They were both fine. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this hospital? Like every dude here looked good. Ackright looks at me. He's like, I already know. Because he knows my type, right? He's like, I already know. And he goes, it's cool. I get Pacers, you get here. It's cool, right? The fucking doctor walks in. Oh my God, this doctor was like a fucking page out of a rom-com, also fine. So I shit you not, like every person that treated me that day was a male and he was fine. Like I was like, damn, I need to get back into the healthcare field. Just kidding, I'm married. But yeah, so to kind of piggyback what you're saying, like all the young dudes went and followed the hot nurses, and now the hot nurses are all dudes.
Yeah, because like look at all of the female nurses, they range in age,
Right.
right? But I noticed that all of the male nurses are younger.
Yeah. That's
Very
so true.
true.
That's so true.
I don't believe that actually.
Why?
It's not because of the male nurses, but it's definitely because of females.
What do you mean?
Right.
Elaborate.
Okay. If I was a guy in my 20s and I didn't know what else to do in my life, like I'm generalizing,
Okay.
right? to get your ADN, it's only 2 years. Then you're a nurse, right?
Yeah.
So at the starting pay for that would be like $40 an hour,
Right.
right? And you only work 3 days a week,
Yeah, that's true.
right? So you have time to work out. You have time to go on your little vacations. You have time to, and girls look at you because you now have a
Good job.
status, right?
Yeah.
Now you have your own you have your own
buff.
condo, right? You have your own condo, your townhouse or whatever. You're single, so you can afford your Tesla. So now you put yourself up here, and then you have enough liquid cash because you can go work overtime for one more day to be able to party in Vegas for a whole weekend and
That's
spend all that
true.
money.
It's like it like leveled them up instantly for quicker.
Damn, that was a quick glow up. What the
I
fuck?
know that's
No, it
true.
is though.
That's crazy.
Think about it. 2 years, you get your ADN.
That's true.
Then you could if you want your BSN, you go find 2 more years somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
Then there you go. You only work 3 days,
That's
3/12s.
crazy. Yeah,
Then-
that's true.
Then the
3/12s.
then if you want to do 4, it's overtime.
I don't want to go.
That's
through
why-
all that schooling.
That dude, I was in nursing, like enrolled in nursing school, and the day that it started was the day that I had to go into labor. So I ended up not going, and then all my class that I was supposed to join finished, and I got so butthurt. I was like, oh, that could have been me, but now I'm glad I'm not.
But
nurse.
I personally know nurses that would tell me, "Oh, I'm working overtime this weekend because I'm going to Australia." So they're using the money for pocket money in Australia.
That's crazy.
So it's like overtime, time and a half, right? So
Yeah.
you earn $40 an hour, 50 sometimes because you're working the graveyard,
Right.
an ICU, so you have the credentials, whatever. So you're earning, let's say, $60 an hour, time and a half that weekend, so that you can spend that money when you go to Australia.
I think the big takeaway too from that is that it's that good money and it's like consistent and stable and scheduled, right? Because there's a lot of entrepreneurs that make $150 an hour, $200 an hour, but they're not looking like nurses, living like nurses because it's the consistency. And
But male nurses they don't really go out and announce that they're a male nurse.
that's true.
You look at their Instagram, it's almost like, where do you have all this money to be like
Traveling.
traveling
That's
on
fucking
vacation,
true.
That's
working
true.
out?
That's true.
You know what I mean? You don't. I'm telling you, it's just to be able to afford
They're luxuries.
the luxuries.
That makes sense.
That or they put it on their bio as like a status thing.
Yeah. BSN.
Yeah,
BSN,
yeah.
CRNNA.
Yeah. That's true.
That's it.
What's your guys' theory on the decline of female nurses? Filipino specifically, because
OnlyFans.
Yeah, I would say
Great.
that. I heard a statistic recently that there's more people on OnlyFans than there are teachers.
Because it's like they don't have to get an education to do it.
As a matter of fact, I think that more of them are uneducated.
Ooh.
It's okay. I know how to hit that.
You think there's a decline in females?
as far as like specifically Filipino culture, like now it's not like this is my opinion. I almost feel like because there was such a pressure and a stigma to be a nurse, the younger generations were like, no, I don't want to. I want to be something different. Because I know me personally, a lot of my friends and even my cousins that chose different paths. Like one of my cousins, she's super successful. She's like one of the top people at, the company Cisco?
Yes.
Yeah, so she's like one of the head people there. So she makes fucking bank, right? Everyone wanted her to be a nurse. All of us were supposed to be nurses. She chose a different path, but she still makes great money. And she's like, I didn't want to do what everyone said, and same with my other cousin. She's in finance and she's like, nope, I didn't want to be a nurse because they told me to and I don't want to, like.
It's part rebellion, but I also think that I've always said this, and I don't know if I've ever said it on the podcast. Patient care supersedes all, right? So there's not enough money that somebody will pay me to be wiping ass at 3 a.m. when you're tired, right?
Yeah.
And then you have a patient that you have to complete bed change. If you're in the medical field, you totally understand how
that's a lot for sure. And props to you guys, yeah.
And I think men are more adept at internalizing that and finding kind of like motivation, where women are more on the emotional state.
And they're like, yeah.
No, it's
just kidding.
it's not that. It's just that they're, you go into nursing in general for the love of patient care.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I think it's easier for men to find that motivation that would be for women. Because they would be thinking about all the other stuff.
No,
the
you're
stressors.
right. I mean, I've told you guys that here before. You guys know how much I hate poop, right? And that's literally the number one thing that stopped me, besides the fact that like I got, I had a baby. It was like, I don't know about like my friend. She was in nursing school, and during her clinical, she told me a story about how she was changing a patient, and while she was changing, some of the powder that you had to put on the patient ended up in her mouth. Like it splattered into her mouth, and she was like, and I just picturing that, like, you know what I mean? I couldn't take it. So like, and then I don't like poop. So I think those little things, like you said, is like not very.
Yeah. Plus, there's also motherhood, right? It's really hard to be a parent. I mean, to be pregnant and then be a new mom and have
then
to
take care
and have to nurse while you're working the graveyard shift.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm pretty sure it might be the same with like corporate jobs, but corporate jobs don't work graveyards. You know what I mean? You're a new mom. You have to go into the lactation room. I think for women, there's just a lot of pressures that come with being a nurse.
Me being at the hospital while I was pregnant was probably the most comfortable place for me to be a mom, because it was almost like expected that you had that space. Because when I worked at corporate office for ACE as one of the administrators, like one of the top people, I had nowhere to pump. Like I literally had to like go into the lunchroom and put a sign up, and it was so fucking awkward. So I feel like, yes, I agree with you that it's like uncomfortable, but at the same time, it's almost like where else would they accommodate you like that?
Yeah, I mean, when I went back to work after having my maternity leave, not one of my like people from work was like, "Oh, well, are you still nursing? Like, how can we accommodate you or whatever?" Like, they didn't ask me. I told them straight up because I was like, "Oh, I'm not producing, so I don't have.
You don't need to. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, to me, that was low-key kind of fucked up. Like
that it wasn't even like
talk to me
concern.
about.
Yeah,
and it was part of like a checklist that they needed to talk to me about, and they didn't talk to me about it.
Oh, that's crazy.
But going back to generational,
yeah.
Bouncing off of what you were saying, like, do you think it's just because of our mentality of why, women nowadays, or just people in general, men and women, they're like, fuck no, we got so much pressure from our parents. Like, why do you think we're not wanting to do it?
I mean, because it's all around you. It's not exciting. Like, okay, so I can go to a friend's party, and in the table inside the house, because all the guys are outside drinking, smoking, whatever. Inside the house, you'd have 6 women talking. 5 of them are nurses.
That's true.
Right? So if the kids are watching that and they're looking at it, they're like, that's the same life. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not
safe,
as exciting.
predictable.
Yeah, it's just like you're so used to it. It's like next thing you know, you go to another house and there's 6 more, and they're all nurses, and it's like it just becomes like another like
mundane and like
wow, I want something more exciting.
I agree with that. I also think part of it too, to answer your question from my perspective, part of what Queer Rich said, but also I think this like need for us to find like our own identity is, I think, part of it too, personally. Like when all your Filipino aunties and uncles and moms and grandma and grandpa tell you should be a nurse, it's almost like, no, I want to figure out what I want to do, like who I am, what I find interesting. I don't want to do what you guys say because like you're not going to choose my life for me. I think that has something to do with it too, in my opinion.
That's interesting that you guys say that, because in my family, I only have like a small handful of nurses, and military, it was just my dad and my grandpa. So like I didn't get that much pressure, but I did get it from like my older generations, because I get it. They wanted me to have like a stable income and that status, I guess you could say. But it was not as like shunned, I guess, of me wanting to do like my own business and stuff, because like my dad went the whole like nursing, military,
All right.
Well,
that whole thing. Go ahead.
Well, I would think that like our parenting or our parenting styles
Different.
alternate. So like if your parents were very traditional, trying to get that security and everything like that, you're going to want to not be like that because they pressure you so much.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like how you said that your dad didn't really have that that style with you, but then the generation before, they wanted that for you. And that
Well, and what the weird thing was though, like later down the line, he's like, you know, you should go into, because I had the chance to go into the Air Force, but I didn't take it. And then he's like, oh, you know, you actually should have, or maybe you should go to the, so like it was like both, and I just didn't know what I wanted.
okay, so that was a bad example because we don't like her dad anyway. So,
But
but I've said this
Yeah.
before. You know, like I've had people that while I was growing up, I had people that I did look up to, but then I also had people that I didn't want to be like.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you know, love my dad and everything, but I didn't like his parenting skills. So that's why I'm so laid back with my daughter. You know, but then what if my daughter grows up and then she's like, oh shit, I should have done this where it's more stable, and then she might enforce that on her kid, and then that thing that she has like is like, oh, I don't want to be like, I don't like the fact that my mom was trying to be a tiger mom. I'm gonna just be more relaxed. So it alternates.
how do you guys find that balance? Like, because you guys have kids that are older, you know, both of you guys are older and are like pretty much grown, and your kids are still growing. Like, how do you guys find that balance of wanting to teach them to have like stability? I'm sure you guys want your kids to have stability, but also to follow their dreams or whatever that they want to do.
Lie to them.
Okay.
Yeah, my daughter thinks that everything's good. No, my parents, they think that no, I'm so behind on my bills. This might be our last episode.
I feel that.
No, you know what? I don't think my daughter is, she's 20. I don't think she's old enough to really have to decide what she wants to be. I think there's so much more pressures in life and so many more experiences that you can encounter and things that you can learn to have what you want to be 20 years from now, 5 years from now, be the ultimate pressure in your life.
So I think a lot of people would probably hear that and be like the opposite, right? Like, she's already in her 20s. Like, don't you think she should start making decisions? Where do you think that comes from for you? Like, where you have a different outlook, where you're like 20s are like your prime years where you could still make those decisions and you don't have to rush. Where does that mentality come from? Did your parents have that mentality? Was it like him where he says it was opposite, so you kind of have the opposite?
Well, I would say that it's also like, if we were to look at all of our parents, even though it's like a wider spectrum, like their age is like wide too, but if you were to look at that generation, by the time my parents were 20 or in their like close to 30s and stuff, they already had a house. They already had, like, you know, they were already married. They were already, you know, like they had me already. I don't know why, but then it seems like the past or the previous generation just had their shit together more.
Yeah.
Well, I think they were, I mean,
The world was a lot less expensive.
yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Yeah, but we also made less money too, you know?
Yeah, but I think in general, the ratio is still.
Yeah, the ratio, like, I don't think that we're keeping up with the inflation.
No. There's actually, side note, this thing that I read that's like, we're actually in the depression as we speak. Like, if you look at the ratios compared from the depression times to now, the difference in pay and the difference in the cost of things, we're actually currently going through the same as the depression, but people are not realizing it because we make more, so they think that we're not, you know?
The reason that we don't realize it is because we have Instagram now.
Yeah.
Everybody's putting their best foot forward. They're showing off that they're living their best life. If they like have a
That's a good
depressing
point.
life, they don't really post it.
That's a good point.
And so success is advertised a lot more now than it was, you know, like back when our parents were up.
Well, also the narrative can be easily skewed, right? Like, I know that there was this thing about, like, you know, I think it was our governor. He was talking about how by 2024 we're gonna have standard $20 now for everybody in the state of California. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, yes, $20."
So stupid.
but we're paying $6 a gallon on gas.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
people, you forget how much eggs cost.
Yeah.
You can earn $20 an hour, but it's $65 for a dozen eggs.
Yep.
It doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
You know, people, you twist the narrative because of social media.
Right.
And then you think that that makes it, but it doesn't because of everything else that costs.
Yeah, it's true. It's very, very true. If you like actually sit down and you look at it, it's very true.
And that's why sometimes I think that why I don't rush my daughter is because she needs that knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? She needs, if she wants to go backpacking through Europe or travel somewhere, now's the time.
Yeah.
And then if she spent like a summer in a third world country, she will have a better view of what struggle really is.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
And what she wants to do too, based on her experiences.
Yeah, right. But but that struggle and then that view of what struggle is and what other countries are going through makes it easier for her to make an informed decision on how she wants to approach her life.
I love that. I agree with that 100%.
For you, what would be like where she crosses the line? Like, no, no. Like, you can't do that.
No, she's 20. She's an adult. It's her decision at that point. But listen, I'm not gonna knock my daughter if she decides, okay, like I'm gonna work as a secretary. I'm not knocking secretaries, okay? I'm just saying, like, not like a high paying job, kind of
Right.
like mid level, not
Mediocre.
entry-level. Not mediocre. Don't say that because then that
Okay,
say
entry level is a good
no,
word.
No, mid level. Let's say
Okay,
mid
okay,
level.
okay.
But if she's living a mid level life, like salary wise, but she has her own apartment, she has her own car. Why am I worried?
Right, who are we to say that it's not a good life?
Who am I to say that? Who am I to say the guy with all the bills and that I can barely pay this and that and whatever because I have so many other things going on in my life. Who am I to say she's fucking up?
Yeah.
Who like?
Does someone hear that? Okay, thanks.
I know, right?
Like
listen.
Like who is a family member that's gone through 2 bankruptcies that would tell her that she's fucking up?
That's so true.
I just want her to be happy. I just want her to be able to enjoy her life the way that she wants to.
You know, that's one of the things that you mentioned that I can't stand is when family members that aren't even living the greatest life have a fucking opinion. You know, they're out here talking shit or telling you what to do. And it's like, motherfucker, you don't even have your own life together. Shut up. You know?
No, I strategically overdraft my account to set an example for my daughter. She does not want to live like me, and she's been doing great.
See, I'm with that type of parenting. Okay, so with that being said, right, moving on with or going along the lines of like expectations, do you guys, so I was telling them earlier, and we were like, oh, we'll save that for the podcast. My son had asked me, Mommy, why do you have to go to college? What is college for? You know? And I had basically told him, well, you don't necessarily have to. It really depends on what you want to do in life. You know, there's nothing wrong with going to college, but me personally, I'm like, but you don't necessarily have to. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Is college a must, not a must? What do you instill in your children as far as that goes?
I told my daughter that I only want her to go to college if she wants to learn something. Other than that, like, there's so many people that I know that go to college, they even finish it, and then they're like, oh, I decided not to do this.
Yeah.
Like, they don't follow their trade or whatever, and it's like, now you have debt for no reason, and that held you back for 4 or 6 years of doing what you actually wanted to do.
Right.
So, you know, just make sure that you do what you want, or you're going to do something that's going to pay you enough so that you can do something that you don't want, but you have enough money to do the other things that you want.
So I'm almost with the exact same mentality as you. So to answer that, my own question is like, I was the same with my kids. I was like, you know, you can go if you want to. I 100% support it. But also you don't have to. And because I have a few friends that said the same thing, like, oh, I got my degree. I have $150,000 in student debt and I'm not even doing what I'm doing and I'm making shit money.
Well,
you know?
I even told my daughter when she graduated high school, when she was in her senior year of high school, she was like stressing and was like, oh, how do I get into like UCSD? How am I going to get into like, like the universities and stuff? I was like, you know, baby, you can go to a community college.
Yeah.
You know, because if you decide that you have to understand college isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? College isn't
Absolutely.
for if you guys don't know what you're going to do after you graduate high school, you're not bad.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So you can go to a community college, and this is why I wanted my daughter to go to community college, because for one, she's gonna stay home, and two, if she drops out, I don't have to worry about the tuition that she would have had to pay if she went to like some big university or something like
Right.
that, you know? So it's like, try it out, see if you like it, get your feet wet. If you don't like it, if you find out that it's not for you, hey, no problem.
Right.
Right.
I agree with that. What about you guys? What are your thoughts on college and your
Um,
kids?
I personally think that there depends on what you want to do in life, right? If you want to be a doctor, you can't go to community college.
Yeah, you have
Right.
to go to college.
You have,
Exactly.
you have to go to college.
Yeah.
If you want to, if you want to be like, I don't know, a chemical engineer,
You have to go to
yeah,
college.
you have to go to college. So it's always based on what you want to do in your life. If you want to be a diesel mechanic, you don't you don't go to college for economics.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You go to a trade school,
exactly.
right? And then it's also like, okay, what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, daddy, I want to be a DJ. Oh yeah, sure. Go to college.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Junkie school of, yeah.
Yeah, right. In Glendale, California.
Yeah. There you go.
But spend the money on equipment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times it's like, oh, you have to go to college if you're working on the human body. If you be a nurse, you got to go to college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
I agree with that 100%.
it makes sense. Like
Whatever you want to do.
whatever you want to do, find college might not necessarily be the complete answer to it. You know, even as an artist, you want to be like a comic book artist, you can go to not a community college, but a trade school that will just give you enough of the experience. And a lot of times when it comes to stuff like that, college is not necessarily what you learn, is who you meet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You meet professors, you meet other students that can help you get into this meeting. You know what I'm saying?
Networking is a big thing in
Yeah.
every field, I feel like,
But yeah, I think, if you're going to be a doctor, go to fucking college. You know, whatever type of chiropractor, neurosurgeon,
Yeah.
RT, PT, whatever, you have to go to college.
Yeah.
But if you want to do just, hey, if you're satisfied being an auto mechanic, you don't need to go take a communications class at SDSU just because your parents want you to.
Right. Well, I agree. Some people might disagree, but yeah. How about you, Lonnie? What
They're
are your
fucking
thoughts?
idiots then.
Yeah, I know.
So when you were talking about this question, I've been thinking about this a lot because obviously my kid's like under a year, right? And everybody in my family and even in Jason's family is like, oh, make sure that you start like a college fund, right? And I've always thought about this, and me and Jason has talked about this, like what happens if she really doesn't want to, right? So we've agreed that like, yes, we will put money aside if she would like to go.
Yeah.
But if she doesn't, at least she has something to help her get started in the things that she would want to do. So, I mean, to piggyback what, Queer Rich was saying and what Vince was saying too, and what you were saying is like, I don't think I would ever downfall her, like tell her like, no, I don't think that's great for you. But I would explain to her like, hey, if you want to be a fashion designer, then yes, go ahead and there's this type of school if you want to go finish this school. Like at least show her the pathways of where she can go to reach that. And if we don't know the answer, then I'll help her find the answer. But at least be like the best you can be in whatever that you want to be, basically.
Why do you think that certain people, especially within the Filipino culture, they don't hold in high regards certain accolades compared to like going to college? For example, right? Like when I went to massage therapy school, right? I went to school as a massage therapist because I genuinely was very into holistic health. I had a passion of like touch and like healing people, not like that, you nasty.
No, I was going to say, I have an answer to that already.
And I still remember till this day, when I was walking to get my cap and gown and we were walking the line, right? Or not cap and gown, get my diploma. And I was in my cap and gown, we were celebrating. The nurses were behind us because I went to a trade school, right? So there was the set of nurses, there was a set of massage therapists and whatever else was graduating. And the nurses were hella talking shit to us, like behind our backs though, like, oh yeah, those were the fucking rejected nurses that couldn't make it to RN school, you know, like blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And then like there was even a group of Filipino parents that were like, mga massage therapy lang yan, you know, like that they're not even real, you know, like they didn't really go to school. What do you think that is? Where it's like
It's money.
the amount of money?
It's amount of money. And the fact that they can't pronounce holistic.
Yeah.
But it's again, it's they look, you know, snub their nose at you because you're just like let's say
Like the
you're
shortcut, you think?
no. It's here's the nurse, right?
Yeah, but there's some lash artists right now that are making more than nurses,
People don't know that,
but
right?
they don't know that. Okay, so it's the ignorance.
So if you look at the tier, if you look at it on a grand scale of what people know, here's the doctor, here's the nurse, here's the MA.
And then me at the bottom, the patient.
Yeah, and then Vince in a parking garage,
Parking lot attendant.
right?
Right.
But you're just like you're the bottom tier. You're basically EVS. You know, the guys that clean up the room after the patient leaves. They look down on you on that because you don't make enough money to be up there with the nurses.
Yeah. I mean, I agree that that's probably what it is, but I don't think that that's true, though, that because nowadays, especially, there's a lot of entrepreneurs that are making hella bank, but you're right. Like, old school people don't know that, right? Yeah. They don't realize that there's a lot of money, like, even barbers, right? Like, I know that a couple of my friends are barbers, and they would talk to me and be like, oh, yeah, my parents were super disappointed because I didn't go into the military, but now they're fucking making, like, $500 a month on cuts, or a day on cuts, you know, and making fucking bank, and their parents are still not impressed. You know, they're like, my son's just a barber, you know, but he's like fucking making more money than he would have as a nurse. Like, what do you think that is too, when they know that they're making a lot of money?
The status.
The status, right? The title.
It's a status symbol. You're gonna tell my son's just a barber. Just a barber.
Right.
Even those ridiculous amounts of money they
Yeah.
charge for a fucking haircut.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like just a barber, but that barber probably makes fucking twice as much as that nurse, you know, right there in his chair, you know?
I mean, nowadays a fade is $50 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
Like minimum. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna go to the exchange. I get my haircut like once a week.
$10.
12 now.
Is it 12 now?
12 now.
Damn.
But still,
I thought 10 was high when
but
it got to 10.
I have to get it cut every week. I'm not spending $50
Right.
every 2 weeks. Oh, $100.
Dude, that's why my
$200
sons have
a
been
month.
fucking rocking the long hair this week. I was like, okay, you're gonna have to wait till next week for that $50 each. That's $100 right there for your guys' haircuts. I
would
know.
just shave their fucking heads.
I've been trying to convince them because their hair grows so fast.
You need to get a Flowbee.
No, you need to show up at their house without a hat on.
Well,
No, I be hat fishing people. I can't take this off.
No, you be the cool uncle. Look, Uncle Vince. He has no hair, and he.
Yeah. But as soon as people see me, it goes quickly from kuya and uncle to like tito. I start talking like, oh, actually, yeah.
Well, you know you do look different when you don't have a.
Yeah, that's why I be hat fishing girls.
at least you don't beard fish people. Do you feel like you beard fish people? That's
No, I'm going to like watch when this is like long enough. I'm gonna do a comb under.
That's ridiculous. That's like when we did this, the opposite of when we made Vince's goatee.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's funny. It's funny that you were talking about what you were just talking about.
Okay.
Okay.
About the whole like
Really
You know
Whole
those things you
status
said,
thing.
words.
those really funny things that you said.
Yep.
What was it again?
no, about how like you know, when you talk to older generations and how they're like, oh, you're just a barber, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like my grandma, she's like, oh, you know, she's not in the medical field, but you have a 401k, so it's a good job. Like, so because I have something, it's like just enough to be like, okay.
They just want something to brag about,
They do.
and then they'll only focus on that.
It's true. It's really true because like ever since my grandma's been helping babysit my daughter, she's like all fucking Filipinos. Oh, yeah, you know, Kilani's daughter, she knows how to clap her hands and she's only this much old, or she knows how to do this and da, 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 da. And I'm like, yo.
That
I don't
don't
even know who
impress
this
me.
Tito is. Like, come on now.
You want to know what's funny? Like, speaking of like the respect thing and like the older generation. So, as you guys know, I've been taking this like course, right, for the last like 2 weeks to get my administrative license, because we're going to probably purchase a higher building for like board and care and like things like that for people, right? So I've been getting my administrator's license, and the lady that we're probably going to take her RCFE over, she's like, do you think Ari is going to be capable of finishing this course? Do you think that it's going to be too hard for her? Because in her head, she doesn't know what I've done in the past, right? She thinks that I'm just like a stay-at-home mom that doesn't know shit, right? So she's like, are you sure she's going to be able to? I don't want to give my business to someone, da-da-da. And my mom literally, her whole tune changed, like her respect for me. Even though she's met me 1,000 times, she knows that I run my mom's business, right? Even though her business is like a level of care up, you know? She's like, you think she's going to be able to handle it? Is she going to be smart enough? Da, 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 da. And then my mom was like, you know, my daughter used to be a social worker at a skilled nursing facility, right? And you know that she worked at Sharp. And because she knew Sharp, because it's like a big name, right? For 8 years, like da, da, da. And her whole tune changed. Oh, really? She used to work at the medical field? Oh, she was a social worker? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, I knew your daughter was so smart.
Yeah.
And so fucking whole different tune. And I'm just like, that sucks that I have to advertise my past because I don't
Credibility.
my credibility, because I don't brag about the shit that I've accomplished. You know what I mean? Like, people are even my neighbor, I was talking to him and I had said something like, oh yeah, one of our neighbors, not Cameron, a different one, like, oh yeah, I'm taking this course, da da da. And they're like, and I was like, yeah, I have to do it like off of work, you know? And they're like, oh, you work? Oh, we didn't know that you worked. And I was like, yeah, I work. I do a lot of work from home, but I work behind the scenes. And oh my God, a different level of respect that you could tell that just immediately came, you know? And it's just kind of like annoying because I'm like, I don't fucking scream at the top of the roof like, hey, I'm actually kind of smart, guys, you know? But people don't give me that credit until I tell them I've been in the medical field.
Well, that's what diplomas do.
Yeah.
It just shows that you did it. It gives you the it doesn't guarantee you a job. It guarantees you consideration.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So that diploma just basically says that you spent 4 years studying whatever you did. And you were there long enough to stick it out. It's all it is to me.
I agree. Even in the job, right? Because I remember I was trying to apply for a promotion at Sharp, and it was a BS required, right? A bachelor's was required for the job. And when they interviewed me, they said, why do you think you deserve the job, even though you don't have a degree? That's like literally one of the questions they asked me. And I had responded like, well, I didn't get where I am now without a degree, without being as smart as I am and as capable as I am.
Right.
And that like turned their heads too and their decision making, you know? But I was just like, it's just so, for me, it's very frustrating and annoying when people are judged based on like what people think good is. Like, oh, well, you're not a nurse, so you must be dumb, you know? Or you didn't finish college, so you must not be smart, you know? Like things like that. I don't know.
Some people are just too smart to finish college. Right?
Thank you.
Well, I mean,
not me, but like I think that's good for people like to hear that, you know?
No, I think that sometimes there are people that are just, they get bored.
Yeah.
I know this shit. Like one, if there's just some people that are smarter than their professors, right? And sometimes when you're that guy, you're gonna tune them out.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Good Will Hunting, right? The guy was a fucking janitor.
Or like people with ADD, like they're known to be like the people that fail school, and later on studies showed that like Einstein had ADD because they're so bored in school, which is why they suck at school, but they're actually low-key geniuses, you know, because they're too smart that their brain's like, okay, I'm done learning this, like move on, you know? So that makes sense.
Yeah, so if you also want to be successful at something, just be either the first or the best at it. Like if you want, takes no college at all, start a pyramid scheme. All your requirements are you have to be able to multiply by 2. That's it.
Yes.
And as long as you're the first one in that, you're money.
Yes. And grow top to bottom instead of wide.
Ooh, there you go.
That's a typical pyramid scheme.
I bet you all the
tactic.
pyramid schemes that are like at their peak are people that did not finish college, guys.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's not true. Some of them probably like, I'm so smart, I recruited people.
Or they use that in their story. Oh, I graduated with this degree. I haven't used it and I'm out of debt. I was like,
No, most people that get suckered into pyramid schemes are the ones with degrees.
You think so?
Yeah, they try to outsmart it. They try to overthink it.
Oh, because they think that they're smarter than the pyramid scheme, so they get pulled in.
They know. I have a BS or BA or MSN or BSN or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would like to join our pyramid scheme, click the link below.
And hit
And you
subscribe.
could put that on your resume or Instagram or whatever, the BSN, LGB plus,
Right.
RGB lights, whatever.
But also, like, okay, back to that. I was thinking, like, when your son asked, right, do I have to?
Mm-hmm.
Well, did you finish college?
No. Well, I mean, like, that's the thing is I didn't finish technical college, right? But I've done like licensing in so many different fields, so that's why I told him like I didn't.
No.
So
Did Anthony?
no.
Right. But there's a roof over their heads, right?
Yeah.
And there's always food on the table, right?
Oh, such good
and
food.
there's a shit ton of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like what, 4 of them?
Yeah.
Four kids is a lot.
In San Diego,
In San
fuck
Diego.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, do you need college?
That's a good way to put it.
Not
Yeah.
necessarily.
No.
I mean, you're living a fucking good life. If you're able to provide for your family, that's all that really matters. Like, I don't
Yeah.
care about social status. I don't care about your trips to Bora Bora.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That just that those things are fleeting.
Extra. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, let's put it in perspective. Anthony didn't go to college.
No.
He looks at titties all the time.
That's
Right?
true, right?
Right.
And those people with those nice titties, give him money.
the money. Yep.
Right.
That's a good way to put it. Son, when you watch this when you get older, there's your answer.
There you go.
Very true.
That's a good way to put it. Mhm.
They're gonna be 21 at Pace. I grew up like this.
Yeah.
This is my lifestyle, the heritage.
Yeah, that's true.
You pass on his residency.
Someone else put into perspective for me too. Like, yes, you can have that bachelor degree, but for someone who didn't go to college, they had more experience, more like networking versus someone who just stayed in school. For some people,
Oh, that's true. Mhm.
Yeah.
so it just depends on like what you see as successful.
Right.
I think what you said earlier, though, does play a big part because even me, someone that knows better, right? Sometimes I'll go onto social media, like you said, right?
Oh, what I said?
Yeah, what
Oh,
you said
shit.
because you had said something like, part of the difference, and you said something to that effect too, of like you see all the successes and the highlights, so it makes you feel like, oh shit, like I need to live up to that, And I've had those moments too, as even though I'm like, I don't need that, there's still those moments where it's like, man, my friend fucking bought like a brand new house, or damn, look at that person, they're taking another trip to Hawaii, and I'm over
Right.
here like, I don't get to do that kind of stuff. Man, maybe I should have gone to be a nurse, but then I have to pull it back because I have to think about the things that you said. Like, wait a minute, I get to fucking go to clubs, I get to fucking eat good, I get to do a podcast on my time, like it really is like what you want,
But
like
I said that?
no, yeah, earlier
About
you were
the
saying-
advent of social media.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
He doesn't remember.
But see, so here's the thing too. Like I find with social media is that, yes, you are right. We try to keep up with the Joneses.
Yes, that's a
right?
good way to put it.
Right.
The Joneses.
We keep up with the Joneses. But sometimes I see friends that are like, well, not like Jasmine, because Jasmine's always outside.
Yeah,
Right.
we want to live her life.
people other than Jasmine.
Yeah,
I see friends that go, oh fuck, you guys are in Hawaii again. Guess what though? Most of that year, I don't see shit on their Instagram because they're saving money. But here I am,
doing fun shit throughout the year.
like trying to keep up with them,
Yeah.
thinking that this is what they're doing throughout the year,
Mm-hmm.
and they never get to go to Hawaii because spent it all throughout the year.
Yeah, that's true.
Because your Instagram sometimes the year goes by.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I haven't seen a post from you. Well, I've seen
Yeah,
posts from you because
Mm-hmm.
of the podcast or
Right.
whatever. But there's some friends where you don't see a post from them the whole year, and all
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden, hey,
I don't post shit.
yeah, but you have this studio to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying, like, next thing you know, you're in Hawaii. Next thing you know, you're on a vacation again. But sometimes people just know how to save.
That's true.
People just know how to save.
Mm-hmm.
I know I suck at saving.
I suck at saving. That's part of the reason why there's no trips. I just get the kids what they want when they want it during the year,
right.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
And a lot of people are in debt too. Put it on the credit card
Oh, that's
for the year, pay it
true.
off, and then put another $4,000 on there for the fucking trip.
That is one thing I can say I'm happy about. We don't got no credit card debt, no debt of any like that. You know, it's just like pay for what needs to be paid for.
Me too. I don't have any credit card debt because they're all in collections.
Yep.
Yes.
I think that it's 2 more years and those are going to be written off.
That's what happened to the
But
one that we
actually,
did have. It got written off.
Pay
It was
attention
so
to your
long.
credit report because collections and negative accounts fall off 7 years from the date of the last delinquency. Not from the day they were reported to collections, the last delinquency.
Yeah, that's true.
So pay attention. And you could always get everything removed.
Dude, that's true. That's what happened with Ackright. He had like things that his ex had put on because
Right.
they had things in their name. And I was just like, you're not going to take care of this shit? And he was like, nope. And then 7 years passed by and now he's got clean slate.
Right.
Clean
Right.
slate.
Yeah.
I was like, now we can start building. I'm like, that's dope. That's true.
There's actually a tactic. I mean, I'm not going to get too far
Yeah,
into
yeah,
like
yeah.
credit reports and stuff like that, but
You could fix mine.
I could take a look at it. No, but there's certain things you don't want to touch,
Yeah, okay.
right?
Yeah.
There's certain things you don't want to touch.
Like you're actually supposed to have like 3 lines of credit open at all times, I heard.
Okay. Like,
Okay, let's not get into
it. Yes and no. But no, what I'm talking about not to touch, I'll do it briefly just for you guys. If you have,
lucky.
let's say you have a collections account, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you have a collection account and the last time they reported delinquent was 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're like, oh, that's not mine because you're trying to get it removed or whatever, or pay it off. Let's say you paid it off.
Yeah.
Well, when you pay it off, they're going to report that you paid it off this month, right? It updated.
Right.
When was the last time you were delinquent if you paid it off this month?
5 years ago?
Last month.
Oh.
So now on your query report, it's going to show that you were delinquent on that account as recent as last month instead of 5 years ago.
Wow.
So
So just leave it alone.
leave it alone because
So we were doing it right the whole time.
because technically, when you're looking at the numbers and your risk management,
Yeah.
the last time you were delinquent on any account was 5 years ago. So your risk of being delinquent again is lower than it would have been if you were delinquent last month.
And you tried to pay it off. Yeah, that makes sense.
You paid it off, but you were delinquent when? Last
The
month?
last month, yeah.
So that's why you see you paid off. Oh, I paid it off. And my credit report tanked. Well, yeah, you were delinquent last month, fucker.
Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense because I'm helping my mom with her shit and she has like just one, and that's exactly what happened. It went down and she paid it off and she was like, I don't understand why it went down. I paid the whole thing off, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Queer Rich, for that little bit of information. Now I'm going to keep that in my back pocket.
I used to be a credit specialist.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Get the fuck up.
Yeah.
Get the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. Really?
Yeah, I've experienced a lot in life. In my
You didn't want to share this fucking information with me
in my
sooner?
last heyday. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Shit. About to call you for everything. He's like, fuck, I shouldn't have told her that.
No, I could look at credit report. I mean, it's changed nowadays because of the different models of what they're, how they provide the score. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
another time.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, what were we talking
See,
about?
but again, well, I finished college, but I'm saying like there's certain things in life that you learn that's like that,
Yeah.
and you become more well-rounded. I think if you're not.
See, to speak to that, that's one of the things that like I really wish that they instilled in us in our generations in school, like instead of like math, history, et cetera, like I really wish like actual life skills were something that were taught in college or in high school and that were required before you could graduate. That's one of the things I love about my kids' school. Now they go to High Tech High, right? And the kids have what's called Financial Fridays, where they sit there and they teach them about budgeting and how to get your credit score up, because I guess their model is like Harvard and like going into like real world. I guess that's how Harvard does their schooling. And I was like, why the fuck were we not taught that? I don't think like to me, those kind of skills are more important than, depending on your field, like you said, right? But those kind of skills to me.
I think that still applies no matter what your field is.
No, I'm saying like college in general. Like unless you have a reason to go to college, I think those skills are more important than actual college, in my opinion, my humble opinion.
Yeah, that's definitely better. Like, I would rather learn those skills than like underwater basket weaving or
Right.
like
Exactly.
wood shop or
Yeah.
fucking even social studies. Just give me the bare minimum of social studies and then just tell me the rest, like use the rest for like finances.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Kind of like wood shop.
I know. I'm like, I took, what's that one where they like, do they still do that where you like bake and learn how
Home ec.
home ec? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like my favorite,
I
one
learned.
of my favorite
I learned to
class.
cook in home ec.
I learned
How to sew. Yeah, I learned how to
Really, yeah.
sew, how to make candles.
Yeah. I mean, I learned how to make omelets in home ec.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
so
learn-
cute.
I mean, simple things.
You know, one of the classes that I wish I did I tell this story on here or to someone else? The one where the guy learned how to taught us how to invest. Did I tell you guys that story on here?
No.
So I was telling one of my friends, I really wish, because in Poway High, like they have all kinds of fancy classes that they teach there. One of the things that we were learning in one of my classes was economics was we had to do stock market, right?
Right.
I didn't fucking know
The computer with the green screen.
No, it was actually, he actually made us take newspapers out.
Oh, really?
Look at the stock, pick a stock. Like we actually had to pretend like we were actually purchasing stocks and like we followed the stock
Right.
to see if we were going to make money, lose money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's stock market.
Yeah. So I fucking did not pay attention. Like I was like, okay. Mind you, I picked out Apple at the time. Okay. And like all these other ones, Macintosh, like I don't remember, like ones that T-Mobile, I don't know, you know, and went with the class, got over it, didn't think twice about it. Mind you, like you guys know that like fucking investing in stocks is like how you fucking make all kinds of money now, right? One of the people from my class, he is now a millionaire from that class. And when people are like, oh, like, how did you become a millionaire? Oh, when I was in high school, I took this class about stock markets and I learned about and there was the class that we were in together. And he's like, so those stock markets that I followed, I actually bought them in real life and followed them. One of them was Apple. And, you know, now Apple's like fucking booming.
Right.
I was like, damn, see, I wish it was those things that they pressed on us.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is going to be something useful in life, you know?
Well, I took econ too, where we did investing in stocks.
Yeah.
But it was a fake one where it's like it was a computer program.
Oh, okay.
But on my team, it was me and the Japanese exchange student.
Oh, shit.
So who did all the work?
The Japanese exchange student.
Well, we made a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it was her that was actually
Knowing what to do and shit. Yeah.
Calculating. I was just sitting there like,
Yeah, that's pretty much me too. Like I was there to fuck around with my friends, but
Right.
I wasn't actually doing it. It was the dude, right? So I was like, cool. And now I'm like, fuck, I should have listened in that class. I would have been so rich. Like, God damn it.
I didn't have any interesting classes.
Yeah, we had a lot of useful classes at Poway that I'm like, man, I should have probably paid attention.
I had ASB, and look at me now.
ASB.
ASB is a fun one though. You get to do like,
ASB. It's like
Yeah.
the HOA of high school.
I mean, that's true.
True.
That's actually,
So I'm saying, like, you know, they fucking do events and shit.
Yeah, but with all the 15 rules that they have, you can't carry backpacks, you can't do this, you can't do
No,
that.
ours was
oh my gosh, you were on ASB. That makes so much sense since you like to do event planning.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look at me now.
Sorry, it made more sense.
Did you end up in the path that you thought you guys were going to end up in, like when you were in high school? Like, what did you think you wanted to be when you were, like, do you guys remember that? What did you guys think you wanted to be when you were younger?
A comic book artist.
And then you weren't that. So
I
obvious-
weren't that.
yeah. How about you?
I thought I wanted to be a social worker.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work out.
RoboCop.
Okay. I always wanted to be a teacher. I was a preschool teacher for a little bit. And then my narcissistic ex told me, don't you want to make more money? You should get out of that field. I have my pictures with all my little preschoolers still. That was probably my most favoriteest job. And I did what I wanted to do, but I didn't finish what I wanted to do because money.
Yeah, he was right. He was right about the pay, though.
Yeah, no, he was. The money got in the way, but I did love that job. So
Right. Yeah. I just
anything taking care of people, I think, is like the job that I like.
Yeah.
Do we all have that, right? Do you think that us, because we're all Filipino on this panel, or half, like, do you still have that hospitality ingrained in you, you think?
No, I hate people.
But you like to help your friends and the people that you love, so I think it's still there.
You're
to an
right.
effect. Yeah.
You changed my mind.
Thank you. That's hard to do.
Oh,
So
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do again? No, I'm just kidding.
Secret.
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 How about you? Yeah, right. Because you do the party planning and the hospitality. So.
I'm a people pleaser all around.
That was one of the questions we wanted to talk about, because you grew up in a more Americanized household, right? And then your mom was Hispanic and your dad is obviously Filipino, but
Where
American.
is she now?
I don't know.
Okay,
It's
go on.
undiscovered.
Shut up.
Well, she took 23andMe and now she's part African.
Is she really? Was that posted somewhere or something?
I guess.
Oh, okay.
So
I
gullible.
was like, really? I am. You could tell me the sky's purple, and I'd be like, I don't see it. Are you really? Do you feel like the expectations, the generational expectations, was different because you didn't grow up in like a full Filipino household? Like, were there expectations?
From my dad, yeah.
Oh,
From my
okay.
mom,
Oh.
yes and no. Like, no, to be honest, not really. Like, my mom just was like, do whatever you want, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, yes, just because he had that military background and he was in the medical field in the military. So it was, yeah.
What about on Jason's end? Do you see that from like his family, like pressures?
Hell yeah. Yeah. Like I remember, I mean, no shade to, I love you guys, because I know some of you guys listen to me. His mom was forcing him to be in the military, and he doesn't like to be told what to do. So he's like, no, I'm not, I'm good. No.
Yeah.
Really quick, Rich, if you're editing this and you're wondering why your drink tastes weird, Ari dropped it in the gutter and it rolled a little bit before she picked it up. So
Lies.
just letting you know.
Lies, I tell you.
So anyways,
Yeah, I was wondering because with Ackright, you would think not, because his parents are they're both Americanized. Like his mom is Italian/white. Like she grew up more like not very Italian, and then his dad is Americanized Filipino, like your dad. But they still pressure him. Like they were like, "Why are you being a DJ? Like you should go work in a union as a carpenter or as an electrician."
Well, the weird thing was, though, too, was when I was in high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I really didn't. And they were like, okay, well, join the military or do something. So that's why I took my ASVAB. And when I took my ASVAB, I scored high enough where I could be in the Air Force.
Well, you smart girl.
Oh, I was. And then, so then when I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and start, the process to join, I was told, no, don't leave home now. So then it was like, I was teeter-tottering, basically. Like I felt like I was supposed to do this, but then I told no. And then I should be doing this, and then no. So it was kind of like, I didn't know what to do. And I'm barely figuring out what I really want.
Yeah, to the people watching, don't think that there's like an age, because I'm a testament to that too.
Yeah.
Like I'm still figuring out the fuck. Like I've done every job, like literally massage therapist, social worker, preschool teacher, body sculptor, like you name it. I've done it. Recruiter, headhunter. I've done it all, and I'm still figuring out what my like passion is.
It's when we talk about this, the first thing that pops into my head too is because my sister just graduated from high school. So she's like, sissy, like, I don't know what to do. I want to do this, but I'm getting pressured not to do it because money wise and whatever. And I told her straight up, I'm like, I can't tell you to go to school because I didn't finish school, but that's because I didn't have a choice. And then, but you have a choice. If this is something that you want to do, then pursue it.
Right.
But if you feel like that's not for you, the only way you'll find out is try it out.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what I've been telling her. And I feel like that's something I'd probably tell my own child too.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I feel like to the viewers, for me, like a personal message, I was actually thinking about this. It's funny that we actually fell onto this topic because I was driving yesterday, right? And I was driving past, you guys heard of FITM?
Yes.
In
The
downtown.
Fashion Institute.
Yeah, which is like Project Runway made it like big and like whatever. I remember I actually went to FITM because I wanted to be a buyer before I figured out I wanted to be a teacher, right? And I went there, I interviewed for the school, they accepted me, and then I took my parents there and I told them like this is an up and coming school, but no one had really known what FITM is back then, right? And the tuition at that point was like, it was fucking, for my family was a lot. It was like $20,000, something,
It's
right?
like 25.
Yeah, something crazy like that. And they were just like, no, it's not a real school. It's not fucking worth it, like blah, blah, blah. So I ended up giving up that dream. And now those people make fucking buku money, right? And so I'm like, shoulda, woulda, coulda. And then after that, when YouTube was first coming out, I remember I wanted to do my own channel when it was like in 2012 when it first came out. Everyone said it was stupid, didn't do it. I could have been making buku money. So basically the point that I'm getting at is every time I had something that I was passionate about that wasn't in the vein of like norm, you know, I was always detoured by someone in my family or like people telling me like that's not a real job or that's not a promising career. And I don't like to say that I live my life in regret, but I definitely wish I bet on myself more, you know?
What made you not do it though?
Literally that. It was afraid to disappoint my family, afraid of what people were going to think. It was everybody else's opinion but my own, to be honest.
At how old were you?
The like FIDM, I was like 19, I think, 18, 19. And then like the YouTube thing was when I had just had my daughter and I was like getting into like watching videos and making videos and things. Like I have shit on my phone that was like me filming myself before YouTube was even a thing, you know? And I remember one of my friends being like, that's weird. People that do that is weird, you know? And I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't do it, you know? Like, yeah.
But I don't think that it's so much of these trends that you missed out on. I think that it was more in the sense that you just didn't believe in yourself because
well, that too. That was part of it. 100%.
Because I was accepted to FIDM and I have no artistic capability whatsoever. Like I'm horrible. Like I had no desire to be a designer or anything like that. But for some odd reason, like I qualified or I was accepted.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's whatever you make of it.
Yeah. So when my son asked that, it made me think of like, man, all these opportunities that I probably would, in hindsight, be making a lot of money or be really happy if I would have just followed my dreams and believed in myself, like you said, and not worried about status or generational with acceptance. You know what I mean? I think it would have put me in a different place.
And see, I'll keep this between us because it was a you and me conversation. But remember that shit that I told you in the car about like March?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See,
right.
Just saying.
Okay.
There's context there. I don't even know.
It's something that I have. It's a goal that I had that I told him like I don't think I could do that, and he's like, you can do it.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know if I believe that I can. So that's basically what he's alluding to.
Well,
like,
you only believe if you can or cannot. If you can or cannot.
no, I know.
But I also kind of kicked her ass in that aspect where I was like, well, okay, so are you telling me that this person is smarter than you or has more willpower than you? She's like, oh, yeah, never mind, I can do it.
You just gotta do it. You can't find out.
Yep.
Like,
I know.
Yep.
again, we'll go
I
back.
think a lot of times I've failed because of my fear of failing. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like-
but not
Yes.
doing something is a failure.
That's what I
Yes.
mean. Like
Yeah.
that's why I failed was because I didn't do anything because of my fear of failure, which in turn made me fail. You know what I mean?
But like again, we go back to like my birthday episode. I don't know if this is before or after. I don't.
We don't know. It's in there.
But
We time travel.
it's that fear of failure that keeps me going.
Yeah. So you're opposite.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you can't be a failure if you still keep trying.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
true.
Like I can't get ghosted if I still have hopes that she's gonna reply. You know?
Touche.
Yeah.
So, do we have anything else to say in regards to opinions, thought, comments, concerns about generational expectations, both just in general or like in the Filipino culture?
I think the world has changed. I think the advent of as Vince alluded earlier about the internet, I think it's opened more doors for people to see different career paths, and career opportunities. Not necessarily being influencers or whatever, or being
Just
TikTok
other
stars,
things, yeah.
but just other things that they can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could be a IBF pro, you can be a fitness model, you can.
Yeah.
The internet shows you there's a lot of.
The world is your oyster.
Yeah, so go find it. You don't have to be a nurse. Trust me. Trust me.
If you want to, you can.
If you want to, you can.
Yeah.
If you want to, you can. Because there's nothing worse, not just your own mental health, but for the patient's sake, to have a horrible
Absolutely.
fucking pissed off nurse.
That's not happy to be there for sure.
Right. You know, and you don't want your parents to be handled by somebody that doesn't want to be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with that so hard. Like, it's so true because I can't stand fucking seeing a nurse that's like, you can visibly see when they're not happy with their job, you know?
Right.
Hell yeah.
What were you going to say, Lonnie?
I forgot.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
ASVAB.
She's so smart.
is
Was.
It's okay. I was to be smart too. I mean, used to be smart.
question for you guys. So, would it be wrong of me if someone were to be like, okay, if I tell you, okay, if you want to work at, not shitting on this at all, but like, you know, a fast food place, like something like McDonald's or something like that, right? But then that means that you, like,
So you're telling me that
You
there's a
can't
person that
expect-
aspires to be.
No. But I'm saying, like, if you decide that you don't want to go to school, in the meantime, you're gonna be working at, like, you know,
In and out.
And
In and out.
yeah, no, In and Out, they make money though, don't they?
Yeah, like a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, but like, you know,
Somewhere lower end.
Yeah, okay.
lower end, right? But then you can't expect to live your life on a
High level budget.
yes. Is that wrong for me to tell somebody that?
No.
Is it fucked up?
What is high level budget?
No, like you can't
Like
expect.
a high rise
Right.
with like driving a freaking Bugatti or Maserati, whatever.
Yeah, I would say you're a fucking idiot. I mean,
It's delusional.
It's
yeah.
delusional, right?
right.
Delulu.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Because you listening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's like, okay, that's a different subject. Never mind. Okay. Thoughts, concerns, opinions.
So somebody that wait a second. We can't let somebody that listens to this podcast thinks that they can work at Burger King and drive a Bugatti.
I mean, not that extreme, but
They're trying to live that
No.
bougie lifestyle with
Live your life, King. Fucking do that shit. All you have to do is rent it, take lots of pictures, and then just post them throughout the year.
Yeah. No, like
Or you need
Do it.
I don't know if you're a girl or a guy, but the only way you can do that is if you're gonna have a sugar mama or a sugar daddy.
right.
If you're trying to work at McDonald's and live that lifestyle, I'm sorry to break it to you, it ain't happening.
okay.
Fake it till you naked.
Let me.
Or you have to get naked.
Look. See, that's also problematic, right? Because we're now saying that this guy working at McDonald's can't drive a Bugatti. But what is the dream? It's not the Bugatti because we're like now.
Well, the dream is whatever makes him happy, but like
No. She's saying you can't live a high dream. But what is this high dream? If his high dream is to drive a, let me see, like an Outback, like a FRS or.
So you're saying it's a lesbian that vapes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. But you can work at McDonald's and drive an STI if you have good enough credit.
right, but
And live with your parents.
This
No.
person is obviously wanting
Like
higher
they're reaching
ticketed-
for the fucking stars.
Oh, then go to Carl's Jr.
Yeah, right. There's a big ass star.
Yeah.
Like what?
Okay, I was gonna say we'll save this for another stream, but there's this TikTok I saw recently of this lady that was like, okay, what do you expect in a man, right? And she's like, oh, I want him to make at least the same or more than me, is what she said. And they said, so are you saying that the guy that makes 50K shouldn't date a girl that makes 150K? And she said, I mean, you can, but why would he want to date a woman higher status than him if I have all of these these expectations? Then it would just make his ego like feel worse, and she's like, I'm not saying that guy is not worthy of dating, but like you should probably date more on your level, because as a man you want to be able to like lead and like provide for her and things like that, and you wouldn't want to feel like demasculated because of basically you can't shoot for the stars if you're going to be down here, is what she was saying. And a lot of people in the comments, both men and women, agreed. Like, men was like, that was actually well said. Like, she's not saying she's a gold digger. She's just saying that, like, be realistic, So I agree with that like, you can't really be Delulu.
And put it to this perspective too, like I can't. Oh, I mean, I probably can, but I mean, like to date a millionaire, right? Let's say like I'm dating a millionaire, but I don't like shopping at all these like high end places. I'd rather go to like Target and Old Navy or whatever. I'm not on the same level as that person.
Right.
See, I think we. Okay, I totally disagree with you guys
Go ahead. Why?
because the average millionaire next door drives a Honda Civic.
Yeah, but that's what they want, is what we're saying. Like the person is working at McDonald's but wants to drive a Lamborghini. Like that's not realistic.
Is it that
Yes.
no, what is the car? Is it a Lamborghini at a McDonald's, or is it like a Supra?
No Supra. We're talking like fucking a Jaguar.
You
Could buy a 75 Jaguar.
I have
for
a Jaguar.
$3. Yeah, he
Yeah,
has
that's
one.
not that expensive.
Yeah.
Jaguar.
Okay.
It's $3,000 for like
You stop
maybe
scaring me with
$5,000,
that
$6,000 for a Jaguar. A good one, a nice one.
No, but like.
But it's not just the
like
Jaguar.
a bougie, like anything bougie.
She's saying, correct me if I'm wrong, this person wants the expensive lifestyle, not just the
Yes.
car.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying, but people can live that. They just can't. It's just very. It's like,
how realistic is it to live that?
Can I give you a
lifestyle?
real answer? Shame them, bully them. No, seriously,
low-key,
they need
I
to
do.
learn. They need to like fucking live in reality.
I do.
Where do
That's-
they,
I agree with that. Yeah,
how old
100.
How old are they?
22.
20.
And what's
In
their
their
social?
20s.
Okay, 22. Living at home, at their parents' house,
Yeah.
so they have no rent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't live that lifestyle.
Yeah,
when
I
you're
mean,
not
you can
paying
get a
rent.
BMW on that.
Yeah.
You could get a BMW on that. You can go out every other weekend.
I mean, if your goal is to live like that the rest of your life at home, then great.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
to me,
you
that's
can shop
not
at
the
Shein.
lifestyle.
It's-
That's just the car still then.
Yeah. No, but it's like, okay, so
well, they're chasing a front.
you're
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
you're-
exactly.
but I'm saying though, sometimes they can live that life if they're living at home.
But that's
Yeah.
not that life. That's not the life that she's describing, right? Because this person is looking for the bougie life, the expensive stuff, the expensive car, the expensive trips on a McDonald's budget.
Yeah, but people, I'm just saying though.
I'm
peop-
Do they go
how
to the
some-
gym? Wait,
The
did they
math
go
is
to
not
the gym?
mathing. How?
Okay. Let's say how much is it? Let's do the math.
McDonald's
Let's say
is
$15 an hour.
yes.
Let's just say $15 an hour. So
15.
this person wants a high rise fucking apartment, a car, and trips and expensive
No, they're not
gear.
They're just talking that shit right now, but they're living at home, right? They're living at their parents' house, so they're not. Let's say they're not paying for rent or for food. 'Cause
Yeah,
they
but
go
you're
home-
talking about the realistic version of that life. I agree with you. You can do that if
Yeah.
you're living at home.
Yeah, you definitely can
Yeah.
because 1550 is minimum wage now,
Yeah.
and if you were to have it full time, then you're basically making $31,000.
But you're saying they want to live the unrealistic version
Yes.
of that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Your version is yes, you could do it if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
But she wants more. He or she wants more than that, right?
Yeah.
See,
Yes.
but their reality may not be reality. So, like what Rich is saying is, if you're living at home, you may think that all that you have to pay for is a cell phone and a car.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't understand the fact that they have to pay for groceries.
Which is why I agree with what you're saying.
HOA,
health insurance,
Right.
yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
So exactly, they're
So-
Delulu.
This is why I'm saying I think, am I being fucked up? Okay, is because this person has approached me and asked me about this. Like, I'm like, okay, so what do you really want? Like, do you want to still stay at the house that you're staying
No.
at?
So what exactly is the question? Because the question is actually, it's important for us to know.
She's saying, is it fucked up for her to tell her friend like, no, you have to reach
no,
higher?
'cause she said she's reached out. She's asked you about it.
She has reached out
Yes.
because we were literally talking about if this person should go back to college or should go to college
Uh-huh.
or not.
Right.
Okay. And I said, well, it depends on what you want, like what you would like to do with your life.
Okay.
And this person saying, no, they don't want to go to school. They're okay with just living this McDonald's job.
So okay. Where exactly do they work? Is that I don't.
Look, it's like that.
It's
Let's just
okay,
say it's like
okay.
that. Okay. But they want this lavish lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and when they finally at 22, you don't know. I'm just saying you don't know. But by the time you,
I'm trying to spend knowledge on this person.
Bully
Yeah,
and
but
shame
they,
them.
they
No,
don't know, but
seriously.
it's her job to tell
no,
them,
that's
right?
what you say.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't know right now. So here's what you tell them: grab a fucking calculator. Ask,
Yeah,
ask,
that.
ask your parents how much you're paying for mortgage.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
right? How much are they paying? You know, because I'm pretty sure working in let's say McDonald's part time, you don't get health insurance. How much is health insurance?
It's like a G.
Right? How much are you paying for your car note?
Literally, this is exactly what I did. I said, okay, what are you getting? What you get paid every weekly? Okay, weekly. Okay, how much are you making? Okay, well, what's your bills? Okay, I'm like, they're like, damn, why ain't pushing me? I'm pushing you so you can understand that you
And
can
the
have
bills
this life,
wasn't even enough, huh?
but it's not fucking
Yeah.
cutting what you're doing. So figure the fuck out.
Yeah, they're not.
There you go.
They're trying to
I'm
make.
trying to be like Vince.
Bully and shame them.
to answer your question, it's not fucked up for you to give them realistic
thank you.
advice.
Here's what you tell them: realistic advice. You tell them you're gonna try to twist this in a way that it's gonna be the narrative is what you want it to be, but in reality, this is what it is, and you're gonna get fucked up, and you're fucked up, and you could barely afford a studio with the amount of money that you're making at McDonald's. Take it for what it is, but that's exact. I mean, the numbers speak for itself.
And to connect it back to our topic, it's because she wants to prove that
She,
she
him.
does-
He,
she
she.
him,
She,
she
him.
him, she him, she him.
She,
Oh, it's one of
Them,
those. They're
they-
delusional.
yeah.
They want to prove that their generational parents saying you have to be this. So to prove them wrong, basically.
Sounds like they
So-
need to get their ass kicked.
That's literally what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Like the more I hear it, the more I was just like, they really need to get this shit beat out of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Why you
it's
kinda
also
left on red.
But it's also it's also part of that whole thing where I say sometimes you just have to get out and experience life. Like
See?
take the handcuffs off, let them fucking go, and then eventually they're gonna come back wiser. with
No,
grayer
don't
hair.
take the handcuffs off. Take the training wheels off. Let them get into handcuffs.
There you
Then
go.
they're gonna learn their lesson.
So,
All right, guys, that's a great topic.
all right. So we have to have. I came unprepared
Closing.
again. A closing question.
That was
Let's
my
see.
closing question. Was I fucked up?
There you go.
Am I the asshole?
Am I the ass?
Yes, there you go.
Okay, that was the closing question.
Yes,
Awesome.
because it's
Sorry.
2:30
Is
in the
Lonnie is an
morning.
asshole?
Because it's
Put yes in the
2:30 in the
comments.
fucking morning.
I know it is. Is it really? It is.
Yeah, we were
All
like,
right.
we're trying not to be here by
Past
get out.
one. Oh shit, we did have that goal, right?
Yeah.
It's
Sorry,
okay.
Lonnie. Okay, guys. Well, we're gonna cut it because it's fucking late and we're tired. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.